Hello and welcome to early archive footage of the late Sir Ptolemy Fortescue Legge in Travels with Sir Ptolemy, Part 9, The Glory of Glasgow.
Glasgow, a city carved entirely from a single block of sandstone. A city referenced in both Virgil and Aeschylus. A city famous for its technological advances and its devotion to magical arts, but still very much an enigma. What, after all, can we say of Glasgow today in light of her history? 12 BC. The first settlers of the area now known as Glasgow encountered an arid landscape. A harsh and unforgiving place, blistered by the red sun, and nothing very much has changed in that regard. The first to, in any great way, tame the race was the legendary Father Green. Father Green carved his house in the French style. The windows are fully lickable, but I wouldn't. Here we see a network, a giant receptacle for waste. It has existed since about the time of the first lizard dynasties emerging from the Clyde, though how it was constructed or where it goes, whether it descends into the bowels of the earth or winds its way down to some distant scion of King Solomon's mines, no one knows. This object is of vague origin, but from its design, the function is quite clear. Have you guessed it? Of course you have. It's used to grind corn down into a finer flour. It would have been used in the gigantic kitchens that serve the Wygian imperators, and may still, in obscure corners inhabited by the traditionally minded peasant class, be in use today, to the same end. Here we see one of the greatest and most feared rulers of the city, the Wizard Wellington, or Wizzy Welly, as he was most likely known. Common wisdom will tell you that magic can only be practiced by women and seagulls. But there is no sleight of hand here. How else to explain his immortal act of transformation? One day, in a rage, he cursed the entire city council to pigeonry for all time. Shortly after, he was forced, by the fickle sway of public opinion, to encase himself in this iron form and protect himself from their unenlightened malfeasance. All hail the once and future king. All hail him. Of the deities of Glasgow, we can say they may have been without number. Not all of them have survived the ravages of time. We know all by heart, of course, Waxbeard Fu, Small Zeus, and the Sugar Babes. Here we see two prominent figures in the abandoned pantheon. First, a possible mother goddess, painted with stunning delicacy and skill. In her blue eyes may be seen the blue of every Wygian summer. What her purview was, whether goddess of good health, or the deserts, or the uranium which warms the stoves of every home in this city to this day, we cannot say to any certainty. The second is a chthonic god, found in many varied representations in stone and china carvings, feared by many. Its gaze may have been used to repel the weak and blight the bowels. This particular rending has a long and dark history associated with it. I don't believe any of it myself, though I am certainly distressed and disgusted. This structure, no one knows what is inside it. Wygian folklore would tell you that it grew organically on the banks of the Clyde, and is therefore not worthy of any comment or thought. Nevertheless, every night, a sweet but toxic vapor is released from these gill-like structures, coating the metropolis in a fine layer of biologically rich and pungent dew, mysterious to be sure, most likely a religious function. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Now here is a sight familiar to all. A home of the current ruler of Glasgow, Ethelred the Serene, the living avatar of small Zeus. But the building itself has prominent place in rail history, as it was both the highest and shortest railway line, spanning only 46 meters. It was built due to fear of flooding, but this one track alone drove the city to near bankruptcy, further fueling the ill feeling toward the flawed but irascible Wizzy Welly. Throngs of the ill, the penitent, and the dead send up wish cards by balloon to petition Ethelred the Serene. I wonder if she ever listens. Of course, no visit to Glasgow would be complete without a visit to one of its famous chipmongers. Here's a fine specimen. He's a man's man. So what did Glasgow give the world? Besides 5 of the world's 7 major religions, innumerable world wars, and the invention of the urinal cake. Well, on the negative side, it's taught us when someone asks you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this experience? Sometimes you just have to look them in the eye and bellow like a horse that's been shot.
This has been an early programme from the archives. Join us next week for Ptolemy's infamous and final journey. Viewer discretion advised.